Gene here. This is a worker called Pat. I think of Pat as a frustrated worker, Hal. He's been a technician for 2 years, and here's some facts about Pat, and I'm going to give you his graph in a second here. He's got some good driver behaviors. He's got some low productivity, but he's got a history of being good. I think we're starting to see a little bit of a story with Pat here already. And this is our performance intelligence behavior graph, right? So the idea is that if the blue represents Pat's story, right? Actual stops made, he is fantastic. He is doing as good as he could as anybody else in the company. His production per hour, he's doing a little bit better than average. That's what this black line represents. His production per mile, on the higher side. His safe acceleration, the red line says not so good, but his safe braking is about average. What kind of story comes up for you here in terms of what's happening with Pat? What, as a leader, what are you seeing here?
Well, sometimes when you hire an employee, I heard this statement made one time in a company I worked for that when they start paying me more, I'll do more.
Mm-hmm.
And the employer, of course, attitude is when you start doing more, I'll pay you more. So there are, Napoleon Hill wrote in the book Think and Grow Rich about what they call the extra mile formula. And it goes right along with what Ralph Waldo Emerson said about compensation. If you've never read his essay on compensation, as an employer or a manager, you should read it. His essay on compensation, that for every action, so to speak, there's a justified reaction. So for an employee, it's there are three things Napoleon Hill talks about: the amount of work done, the quality of work done, and the mental attitude with which it is done. And he called it QA plus Q2 plus MA equals C, and C stands for compensation. So if you do a tremendous amount of production, and the production that you do is quality production, and you do it with a positive mental attitude, your compensation will be through the roof. Compensation meaning not only financial, but a positive mental attitude, financially rewarded, promotions within a company. You'll always be moving up and forward if you understand and apply the extra mile formula. But maybe you do a tremendous amount, a quantity of work. You outproduce everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And the quality of your work is great, but you have a poor mental attitude. Now you're back to John Rocker, the pitcher I talked about. Your compensation is going to be, you're going to be passed over.
Yeah.
You're going to be pushed aside at some point. Now, maybe you have a great positive mental attitude, and the quality of your work is just superb, but you just can't do very much of it. So one of those three things is missing. And when one of those three things is missing, the compensation on the other end is going to be reflected, and one of the legs of the stool is missing. Does that make sense?
It does. And what I like about this is that you can kind of take a look at this and you start to see that there's some gaps in how Pat is showing up at the company, right? There's an opportunity to say, hey, look, Pat, we want to go to the top of this mountain. And I really love to have you along for the ride and part of that group that makes it to the top of the mountain. But right now, I'm not seeing you on that journey, just the way things are showing up. How can I get you there, right? It can shift how you have that conversation with Pat, where he gets to say, well, I want to be there. What's holding you back right now, Pat? Well, I don't get good rest. I mean, it could be lots of different things, right? But
Yeah.
now you get to lean into it and see, well, here's what I need you to do in order to get there, right? Is that fair?
Yes, that's fair. Here's what I need you to do, or not so much what I need you to do. I always believe in making it about the other person.
Hey,
This is
what you
not
need
what
to
I
do.
need you to do. This is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because this is about you. This is not about me. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what you need to do to get there. Now
So
they won't always do that because there's so many external factors. Like you say, that the person could have a physical problem such as low blood sugar or something that saps their energy. They could have they could be involved just in a horrible relationship at home that has them preoccupied. They could suffer from depression, either circumstantial depression or clinical depression. So we don't know why. So just because we point out doesn't mean that they're going to take action there. So this is a slippery slope, you see.